out revealing my sexuality, both as a way to protect myself and sometimes for fear that my gay would ruin.
This is no longer the 90s, but if you are not a hetero human, especially if you are a star, then you have to be ready for weird stares and some judgment. Hollywood has long been where actors were forced to keep their personal lives under wraps. For decades, being openly LGBTQ+ could mean losing roles, being blacklisted, or facing relentless tabloid speculation. These days, times seem to be changing, and some people are beginning to come out of their closets. So, in this video, we will take a look at 20 Hollywood celebrities who kept their sexuality a secret before finally coming out. Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster was a child star who morphed into a Hollywood powerhouse. She was known for her distinctive roles in Taxi Driver, The Silence of the Lambs, and Panic Room. However, despite her fame, she kept her personal life private. For decades, the media speculated about her sexuality, but Foster never addressed it, well, until the 2013 Golden Globe Awards. While accepting the Cecil B. DeMille Award, Foster delivered an emotional speech that subtly but firmly confirmed what many had long suspected. She said, "I already did my coming out 1,000 years ago, back in the Stone Age." Then, she thanked her former partner, Sydney Bernard, with whom she shares 2 children. While many thought the coming out wasn't elaborate, others agreed it was the closest Foster had ever come to publicly acknowledging her sexuality. For many years, she has had to deal with Hollywood in an era when being openly gay could end a career. Many experts in the area said her decision to stay private wasn't about shame, but more about survival. Even after coming out, Foster has remained selective about discussing her personal life and is still one of Hollywood's most respected figures. Elliot Page. Many people would remember Juno as the breakout movie for Elliot Page. With her sharp wit and effortless charm, Elliot quickly became one of Hollywood's rising stars. However, behind the scenes, she was struggling with an identity that didn't align with the image the world saw. In 2014, Page came out as gay at the Human Rights Campaign's Time to Thrive conference. In an emotional speech, she said, "I'm tired of hiding." But while this was a big step, it wasn't the full story. In December 2020, Elliot took another huge step by coming out as transgender. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Page wrote, "I love that I am trans, and I love that I am queer." She spoke about the overwhelming relief of finally being himself after years of discomfort in her body. Her announcement was met with support from fans, celebrities, and Hollywood insiders. From then on, she became a powerful advocate for trans rights. Following her transition, Page continued to thrive in his acting career, even securing a storyline in the Umbrella Academy that mimicked her real-life journey. She also became an outspoken activist for trans representation in the media. Despite her challenges in Hollywood, she has proven that authenticity and courage can pave the way for a more inclusive industry. Colton Haynes. Colton Haynes was the definition of a Hollywood heartthrob. After starring in Teen Wolf and Arrow, he became a fan favorite with his chiseled looks and apparent suave. But behind his rising fame, he harbored a secret Hollywood had conditioned him to keep. For many years, rumors swirled about Haynes' sexuality, but he kept mute about it because he feared it would cost him roles. The entertainment industry had a history of typecasting or even outrightly rejecting openly gay actors, especially those in leading man roles. After years of speculation, Haynes finally opened up in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in 2016. He said, "I was told that if I were myself, I would never work again." Haynes admitted that the pressure to maintain a false image had taken a severe toll on his mental health. He had spent years struggling with anxiety and depression as he feared that his career would collapse if he came out. However, after deciding to live openly, Haynes found relief. More than he had anticipated, his fans embraced him, and he later shared his journey in his memoir, Miss Memory Lane, where he detailed the struggles of being closeted in Hollywood. Though his career faced challenges after coming out, he continued acting and became an advocate for LGBTQ+ rights. Matt Bomer. Matt Bomer warmed his way to people's hearts as the smooth-talking con artist Neil Caffrey in the movie White Collar. However, he kept his personal life out of the public eye for many years. Unlike many celebrities who face direct speculation, Bomer simply chose to remain silent by never addressing rumors about his sexuality. All that changed in 2012 when he publicly acknowledged his longtime partner, Simon Halls, during an acceptance speech at the Desert AIDS Project's Steve Chase Humanitarian Awards. While receiving the New Generation Arts and Activism Award, Bomer thanked Halls and their 3 children to confirm what many had long suspected. Hollywood's leading men often fear coming out due to concerns about losing romantic roles, and Bomer was no exception. In an interview with Out magazine, he admitted that keeping his relationship private was a conscious decision early in his career. He said, "I never felt like my personal life was anything I owed anybody. To entertain fear, especially in a case like this, is normal." However, his anxiety proved to be needless because his career remained strong. Afterwards, he starred in Magic Mike, The Normal Heart, and Doom Patrol. With progress like this, other queer people started thinking of coming out too. But the truth is, it is easier said than done. Victor Garber. Victor Garber has had a legendary career with his appearances in Titanic, Legally Blonde, and Alias. But for most of his life, he avoided discussing his relationships. Unlike stars who face tabloid speculation, Garber kept his personal life private. It wasn't until 2013 that he casually confirmed his long-term relationship with artist Rainer Andreessen. In an interview with Greg in Hollywood, a journalist mentioned Garber's partner, to which he simply responded, "I don't talk about it, but everyone knows." With that, he confirmed an open secret in the industry. Garber had been with Andreessen for over a decade before making their relationship public, and the couple later married in 2015. While Garber never faced public lash over his sexuality, his quiet confirmation made it clear to people that not all coming-out stories involve big announcements. Some are just about living openly and authentically. Lily Tomlin. Lily Tomlin is one of comedy's greatest stars, known for her work on Laugh-In, 9 to 5, and Grace and Frankie. But while she built a career making audiences laugh, she hid information about her personal life for decades. Lily met her partner, writer Jane Wagner, in 1971, and the two quickly fell in love. However, Hollywood in the 70s wasn't a welcoming place for openly gay actors. She consciously decided to avoid coming out publicly for fear of being labeled and blackballed in the industry. In a 2015 interview with The Washington Post, she admitted that she nearly came out on Time magazine's cover in 1975, but ultimately decided against it, saying, "I just decided that I didn't want to play their game." Years after that, Lily and Wagner remained together, working on projects like The Incredible Shrinking Woman and The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe. They never kept their relationship secret, but never felt the need for a public declaration. In 2013, however, same-gender marriage was legalized in California, and that was when Lily Tomlin and Wagner became bold enough to tie the knot. Now in their 80s, they continue to inspire as one of Hollywood's longest-lasting couples. Luke Evans. Luke Evans' story about his sexuality in Hollywood has been anything but straightforward. The Welsh actor, who came into the limelight for his roles in Dracula Untold, Fast and Furious 6, and Beauty and the Beast, was one of the few who started his career openly gay. In the early 2000s, while working in theater, Evans spoke freely about his sexuality, telling The Advocate in 2002, "I try to keep my life private, but I have never been ashamed of who I am." However, once he transitioned into Hollywood films, things changed. When he started landing major roles, his publicist worked hard to erase any mention of his past statements. Suddenly, Evans stopped discussing his personal life. This development led to speculation that he had returned to the closet to secure leading man roles. For a long time, his dating life remained a mystery, encouraging rumors and tabloid gossip. Then, in 2020, he finally re-embraced his identity publicly by discussing his relationships and advocating for LGBTQ+ visibility in the industry. In an interview with Attitude magazine, he stated, "I've never been ashamed. It's just that Hollywood can be a difficult place." Ben Wishaw. Ben Wishaw is known for playing the tech genius Q in James Bond films and starring in Paddington. For a long time, he kept his personal life out of the public eye. Unlike some celebrities, Wishaw was never caught up in rumors or speculation and avoided discussing his sexuality. However, for obvious reasons, that changed in 2013 when he quietly confirmed that he had married his longtime partner, Australian composer Mark Bradshaw, a year earlier. His representative released a simple statement: Ben has never hidden his sexuality, but like many actors, he prefers not to discuss his personal life. Ben Wishaw later admitted in interviews that coming out publicly had been difficult. In his words to the Sunday Times, "It was something I struggled with for a long time. I had a lot of fear about it. However, after taking the step, he found relief and acceptance from fans and colleagues alike." T.R. Knight. Remember the happy-go-lucky fella who was friends with everyone on the medical series Grey's Anatomy? As Dr. George O'Malley on Grey's Anatomy, T.R. Knight became a household name. However, his coming-out story wasn't on his terms. It was forced by Hollywood controversy. In 2006, an on-set incident changed everything. His co-star, Isaiah Washington, allegedly used a homophobic slur during a heated argument with another actor. Consequently, reports quickly surfaced that the slur had been directed at Knight, and it triggered intense media speculation about his sexuality. With the kind of public scrutiny that followed, Knight decided to take control of the narrative. In an exclusive interview with People magazine, he came out as gay, stating, "I hope the fact that I'm gay isn't the most interesting thing about me." However, the fallout from the controversy was far from over. Washington denied the allegations, but later reignited the issue by repeating the slur at the 2007 Golden Globes. Though Grey's Anatomy initially stood by Knight, tensions behind the scenes grew, and by 2009, his character was written off the show. You can trust people. Talks and speculations started making the round that his sexuality had played a role in his departure. Later, he admitted that he had struggled to feel supported on set. While he continued to act on Broadway and in TV shows like The Good Wife and The Flight Attendant, we can all agree that he wasn't as lucky as some other gays who didn't have to quit shows they loved. Jonathan Bailey. Jonathan Bailey is best known for playing the dashing Anthony Bridgerton in Netflix's Bridgerton and is one of Hollywood's rising stars. However, before his breakout role, he struggled with a dilemma that many LGBTQ+ actors face, and that is whether being openly gay would ruin his career. Bailey knew he was gay from a young age, but as he pursued acting, he was warned that coming out could hurt his chances of landing leading roles. In an interview with GQ, he recalled hearing another actor say, "There are two things we don't want to know, if you're an alcoholic or if you are gay." That statement stuck with him and solidified what he had always known, which was the fact that Hollywood wasn't ready for openly gay leading men. For years, Bailey kept his personal life private and chose to focus on his craft. But as his career grew, he decided he didn't want to live in fear. In 2002, he officially came out in an interview where he said he wanted to be proud of who he was and show others that being gay shouldn't be a career limitation. Bailey's success after his coming out has shown that Hollywood is evolving. Unlike T.R. Knight, he has gone on to land more interesting roles with the support of his fans and colleagues in Hollywood. Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin became a global superstar in the late 90s with hits like Livin' La Vida Loca, but he lived with a secret for a long time. Despite being one of the most famous Latin musicians in the world, Martin felt immense pressure to stay closeted due to the industry's expectations. As his career grew, tabloids speculated about his sexuality, but he always avoided the topic. In a now infamous 2000 interview with Barbara Walters, she directly asked him about his orientation, but he refused to confirm or deny it. Years later, Martin admitted that the question made him uncomfortable, and he regretted not speaking his truth sooner. In 2010, Martin finally came out in an emotional post on his website where he wrote, "I am proud to say that I am a fortunate homosexual man. I am very blessed to be who I am." The response was overwhelmingly supportive, and he later admitted that the relief of coming out was life-changing. Barry Manilow. Barry Manilow's music blesses generations with classics like Mandy and Copacabana. Nonetheless, while his songs told love stories, he kept his real-life romance a secret for decades. Barry knew he was gay early on, But as a rising star in the 1970s, he was scared that coming out would ruin his career. In a 2017 interview, he admitted, "I thought I would be disappointing my fans if they knew." Although he had been in a committed relationship with his longtime partner, Gary Keefe, since 1978, he remained silent about it. For over 30 years, they kept their love out of the spotlight. Even when they secretly married in 2014, they still didn't bring it out into the open. However, at the age of 73 in 2017, Manilow officially came out. As for the response, it was pure love and support from fans who had adored him for decades. Looking back, Manilow admitted he wished he had come out sooner. Lance Bass. During Lance Bass's heyday as a pop star, he knew he was gay, but felt trapped by the industry's expectations. The early 2000s weren't an accepting time for openly gay pop stars, and he feared that coming out could ruin the band's success. He later admitted that he knew that his band, NSYNC, would have been over if he had come out. To conceal the fact, he dated women publicly and played the role of the heartthrob, all while keeping his real identity hidden. After the band disbanded, Bass finally felt the weight lifting. In 2006, he appeared in a cover story for People magazine, where he said, "I don't have to hide anymore." Following the coming out, he also realized he didn't have to hide for that long, as the response was positive. Since coming out, Bass has become a vocal advocate for LGBTQ rights. He married his longtime partner, Michael Turchin, in 2014 and became the first same-gender couple to have their wedding televised on Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury, the electrifying frontman of Queen, remains one of the greatest rock icons of all time. His voice, stage presence, and earthy personality made him unforgettable. But despite his flamboyant performances, his personal life was a mystery. During his lifetime, Freddie never publicly put a label on his sexuality. Speculations ran rampant in the 1970s and 80s, but he never addressed the rumors. Instead, he lived on his terms by dating both men and women, but for the most part, he kept his relationships away from the public eye. His most well-known relationship was with Mary Austin, whom he once called the love of my life, though he later had long-term male partners, including Jim Hutton. In 1991, Freddie's death from AIDS-related complications brought his private life into the open. Hutton later confirmed they had been together for 6 years and that Freddie had fully embraced his identity in his personal life, even if he never publicly came out. Sam Smith. Sam Smith's rise to fame was remarkable, especially as his 2014 albums In the Lonely Hour won multiple Grammys. However, while his love songs about heartbreak resonated with millions, Smith privately struggled with his identity. In 2014, he came out as gay and revealed that In the Lonely Hour was inspired by unrequited love for a man. It felt like a major step at the time, but Sam's journey wasn't over. Over the years, he realized that his identity was more complex. In 2019, Smith publicly came out as non-binary and genderqueer. Subsequently, he adopted they and their pronouns. In an emotional Instagram post, he wrote, "I've decided to embrace myself for who I am, inside and out." He admitted that the transition wasn't easy. He also discussed how he struggled with body image and the pressures of fame while figuring out his identity. The reaction was mixed. While many fans and celebrities offered support, Smith faced backlash and confusion. Despite the challenges, he remained open about his experiences to bring more visibility to non-binary identities in mainstream media. Ellen DeGeneres. Who doesn't know Ellen DeGeneres, the witty and beautiful show anchor who has interviewed almost all the stars in Hollywood? Ellen DeGeneres first made history in 1997 when she came out in real life and as her sitcom character on Ellen, but getting to that moment was a long and difficult journey. Before that, Ellen kept her sexuality hidden. She feared it would destroy her career, but she wasn't wrong. As a rising comedian in the 80s and early 90s, she was advised to stay in the closet, but by the mid-90s, she felt ready to be her true self. She worked with ABC to craft an episode where her character would emerge. This birthed the first sitcom led by an openly gay character that an openly gay actor played. The episode, The Puppy Episode, aired on April 1997. 42 million people watched it. While it was celebrated by many, It also brought criticism. Religious groups protested, sponsors pulled ads, and Ellen was canceled the following year. After coming out, DeGeneres struggled to find work. Hollywood turned its back on her for many years, and she feared her career was over. But in 2003, she returned with The Ellen DeGeneres Show, one of history's most successful talk shows. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper has been one of the most respected journalists in the world for decades, covering wars, disasters, and political scandals. But while he reported on the lives of others, he kept his personal life out of the spotlight for years. Unlike many celebrities, Anderson's sexuality wasn't a mystery, especially to those in media circles. They knew he was gay, but he had never spoken about it publicly. As for his reason, he wanted to maintain journalistic objectivity. He told the New York Times in 2005, "I understand why people might be interested, but I want to be a reporter, not the story." Well, that changed in 2012 when he finally decided to speak his truth. In an email to journalist Andrew Sullivan, Cooper wrote, "The fact is, I'm gay, always have been, always will be, and I couldn't be more happy, comfortable, and proud of it." Unexpectedly, the reaction was positive. Unlike other public figures who faced backlash, Cooper was already widely respected, and his career remained strong. Since coming out, he has become an advocate for LGBTQ+ visibility in the media, and even became the first openly gay person to moderate a presidential debate. Robin Roberts. Robin Roberts has been a familiar face on Good Morning America for decades. She is known for her warmth, professionalism, and inspiring take on many topics, but she kept her personal life deeply private for most of her career. Remember, Robin was already a trailblazer as a Black woman in sports journalism before joining GMA in 2005. While audiences loved her, she feared that revealing she was gay might estrange viewers. So for years, she kept her relationship with massage therapist Amber Lane a secret and chose to focus on her work instead. However, in 2013, everything changed when Roberts was battling a life-threatening illness. It was almost like she had a revelation that you can only live once. After surviving a bone marrow transplant, she shared a genuine Facebook post thanking her longtime girlfriend Amber, and that was the first time she had publicly acknowledged her sexuality. The coming out was met with widespread support. Unlike the backlash faced by some celebrities in the past, Roberts' coming out was embraced. Since then, she and Lane have been open about their relationship, and in 2023, the couple finally tied the knot. Jim Parsons
was finding a way to be honest on stage.
For many seasons, Jim Parsons made audiences laugh like Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory. However, he kept his life behind the scenes private. It wasn't until 2012 that he publicly acknowledged his sexuality and his long-term relationship with Todd Spiewak. Unlike many celebrities with big announcements, Parsons' revelation was modest. A New York Times article casually mentioned that he had been in a relationship with Spiewak for over a decade. There was no dramatic moment. It was just a quiet confirmation of something he had always lived. Parsons later said he never needed to make a big statement because his inner circle already knew. However, after coming out, he became more vocal about LGBTQ rights. He recognized that his visibility could help others. In 2017, he and Spiewak got married, with Parsons calling their relationship an act of love, coffee in the morning, and going to work. Niecy Nash. Niecy Nash's coming out was unexpected, but it was beautiful too. The actress and comedian had previously only been in relationships with men, including 2 marriages. But in 2020, she shocked fans when she announced that she had married a woman musician called Jessica Betts. The internet exploded with reactions, many assuming that Nash had been hiding her sexuality. But for Nash, it wasn't about labels. She explained, "I wasn't living a lie before. I just fell in love with a person, not their gender." Before meeting Betts, Nash had gone through a divorce and was focused on herself. But as she grew closer to Betts, she realized it was more than friendship. The love they shared felt natural and undeniable. Their wedding announcement on social media was greeted with love and celebration. Instead of calling it a coming-out story, Nash embraced the moment and called it a new chapter. What do you think about these stars? Have you always known about their sexuality? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, click on the video displayed on the screen.